Hi Year 3, welcome to Wednesday's Maths, and today we are looking at how we can prove that 2/4 is the same as 1/2. Now this is all linking back to all our maths that we've done over the last week, and I just want to remind you how we find 2/4 of something. So if you remember yesterday, okay, we were using our sorting to work out what 1/4 is. So if we were looking at 1/4 of 8, which is what is shown here, we would be able to see that it is 2. So how would we find out what 2/4 is? Well, what we would need to do is look at 2/4 and add up everything that is in there. So we can see here we've got 2 in there and 2 in there and another quarter. So 2/4 would equal 4. And that is what we are going to look at today. We are going to look at being able to look at 2/4. And then we are going to be able to prove that that is the same as 1/2. So I am sure that with all the knowledge that you've got this week, I am sure that you are going to be able to whiz through this. So today we are going to recognise that half is the same as 1/4, same as 2/4, sorry. Half is the same as 2/4. And we are going to be able to find half of a whole. So as I said, it's linking back to all of those lessons that we have done before. So here is a slide, and I want you to have a look and see what you notice about these two shapes. All right, we know they're green and we know that they're a rectangle the same size, but I want you to have a look and see what you notice about what has been done to those shapes. And hopefully you will see that this has been split into 2 equal parts and therefore has been split into halves. And this shape has been split into 4 equal parts. So you'll be able to see that it's been split into quarters. Now, what would happen if we removed this line here? Well, what would happen is that this would still stay the same amount, wouldn't it? This would still be the same. But it would look exactly like this one, wouldn't it? So here, although we've got the line here splitting it into quarters, it doesn't actually change the amount that has been shaded in. So we can see here that the same amount has been shaded in both shapes. This one shows halves, this one shows quarters. This one shows 1/2 shaded, but this one shows that 2 halves have been shaded. Okay, have a look at the blocks here, and I want you to circle half of the blocks. Now, some of you may be looking and think straight away, I know what half of the blocks are. I can see that straight away. And some of us have brains that work like that really quickly. But what I want you to do is I want you to prove it. I want you to be able to prove that your answer is correct. So it's a bit like when we do our deepen it questions and we're asking for because to explain your answer. Well, it's the same in these ones. I want you to circle and prove half of those blocks. Have a go. So the first thing we need to do is find out how many we've got in total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we are finding half of 12. Now, like I say, some of you may already know what half of 12 is, but I want you to prove it. Okay, so I have drawn a circle around half the blocks. How do I know? Well, if we check inside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if I check outside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have got 2 equal parts. So half of those blocks is 12. Okay, and you may have done that by sharing out your manipulatives at home. Okay, but you will have still come up with the same answer. Now I want you to have a go at circling 2/4 of the blocks. 2 quarters. So first of all, we need to think, what am I splitting those blocks into? Okay, and if we're looking at quarters, we are splitting them into how many? That is right, we are splitting them into 4 equal parts. Okay, so pause the video and have a go at splitting 12 into 4 equal parts and then showing me 2 quarters. So if I split my blocks into quarters, okay, I've split my blocks into quarters, and in each quarter I have 3. But I don't want to find out 1 quarter. I want to find out 2 quarters. So 2 quarters will be 6, because I've got 3 in here and I've got 3 in here, which makes 6. And that is the same as our first answer, wasn't it? That was the same as half. So half of 12 is 6. 2 quarters of 12 is 6. Have a go at this, practice it. Okay, you're going to circle half of the buttons. Off you go. Okay, so I'm going to circle half of my buttons. I'm going to circle that half, okay, because I've done my sharing and I've shared them into 2 groups, and I can see, okay, I started off with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I started off with 8 buttons, okay, and I've got half in one circle, I've got 4 in one circle, and I have got 4 in the other circle. So again, I have got equal amounts. If I wanted to, I could circle that way. I could circle half of the buttons, and I have still got 4 circled and 4 not circled. I could even circle my buttons that way, okay? But I have still got 4 circled buttons and 4 that are not circled. Okay, it goes back to, do you remember we were looking at the shapes and suddenly they all got different shapes and a little bit funny shapes, but still circling 4 of them. So now that you've done 4, now that you've done half, I want you to have a go at doing 2 quarters. Okay, so I've got my quarters. I've split it into 4. But I don't want 1 quarter, I want 2 quarters. So I've got 1 quarter here that's got 2 in, and I've got 1 quarter here that's got 2 in. So if I add those together, in total I have got 4, which is the same as my half. So we can say half of 8 equals 4, and 2 quarters of 8 equals 4. I've actually got that on behind me, haven't I? Okay, this is your first do it. You've got 3 do it's to have a go at today. So we'll go through them step by step. So this is your first do it. So you have got a total of 16, and you need to find half of 16, and then you need to find 2 quarters of 16. And I'm sure lots of you are now shouting at me across the screen, Mrs. Pledger, I know how to do it. And I've no doubt that lots of you do know how to do it, but I would like you to prove it. So I would like some pictorial evidence. That means I want to see that in pictures for you to prove it to me. So pause and have a go at your first do it. Okay, so I've taken my half there. Okay, I'd be really interested to see if other ways that have done it. And I can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just to check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have got 8 as half of 16. If I do my 2 quarters, okay, I've got my quarters all split up nicely, but I don't want 1 quarter, I want 2 quarters. So 2 quarters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So hopefully you are now seeing that pattern. Here's your next do it, year 3. Have a go at finding a half of 24 and then 2/4 of 24. But don't forget to prove it. Okay. So I've got my 1/2 of 24. And in my 1/2, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I have got my 1, 2, 3, 4/4. But I don't want 1/4. I need 2/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So once again, we are showing that half of 24 is exactly the same as 2/4 of 24. And your last do it, okay, is half of 28 and 2/4 of 28. Off you go, year 3. You'll be so super speedy doing this one. Have I got half of 28? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Half of 28 is indeed, Mrs. Pledger, 14. 2/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It went a bit funny then, didn't it? 2/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There we go. Half of 28 is 14. 2/4 of 28 is 14. Okay, so you're going to have a go at your secure it. Okay, we want to see your workings out, year 3. Show us how you have come to your answers. So give us some examples of how you have worked out your secure it. Gemma has a bag of 12 marbles. She gives half of them to her brother Tim. Tim has a bag of 16 marbles. He gives 2/4 of them to his sister Gemma. Who receives the most? Your deepen it, you've got 2. Your first deepen it is to find the odd one out, and you need to explain your answer. And your second deepen it, we need to know who is correct between Louise and Tom and why they are correct. That all important, explain your answer. So there we go, year 3. That is Wednesday's math lesson. And we look forward to receiving your maths as today's piece of work that you are going to send us.